channel. So today is the chatty video. After my last Q&A, you guys wanted me, a lot of you wanted me to kind of continue my story, you know, when I came to America, and you know, when I studied, and my time when I was living in New York City with Christina. So for those who were, you know, waiting and wondering about that person, because yeah, I think she was something else. So I'm gonna try to do my best to give you as much info as possible into one video. I don't think I should split it in two, but we'll see how it goes. So let's start it. Okay, so basically I came to New York City when I, you know, was about to start my, you know, studies. And originally I was going to study in Juilliard School. I end up not going to Juilliard because simply I couldn't afford it. I was hoping to get some scholarships, some, you know, some funds, and that did not happen. Living with Kristina would be so convenient because her apartment was literally across the street from Juilliard School. She lived in literally across the Lincoln Center. So I think it was 64th Street. It's been a while since I've been in the city. So yeah, I think it was 1 Lincoln Plaza, the address, and 64th Street. One of those, you know, tall buildings. She lived there because she married couple of years earlier. She got divorced from her first husband in Poland, because she was Polish, by the way, and she basically lived in that apartment with her late husband. He was an American man. I think he was about, I met him once or twice, he was about, I would say, 30 years older than her. I don't know exactly how they met, but I know he brought her basically to America as, you know, as his wife. And you know, after I moved with her, it was already after he passed away, and she told me a lot of things, you know, like he wouldn't trust her. He basically like built the houses on Staten Island, and she said like every time I walk into the office, he would just, you know, close the books or shut down the computer so she wouldn't see anything. What I found to be really silly, it was, she said she was signing, he would like bring her papers to sign, and she would just blindly sign everything, and without basically knowing what's on it. So I thought it was kind of bizarre. And then, you know, she was complaining that she signed things that she didn't know what she was signing. So I mean, like, come on. Like, don't do that if you don't know, you know, what it means. So I feel there's a lot of trust issues. He probably have, you know, a lot of trust issues with her because, you know, she was much younger and he was much older. And unfortunately, he had a cancer and he passed away. I don't think also she was quite honest with him, but, you know, I don't know. This is not my problem. All I know is that Christina was very much money hungry. And she was constantly looking for boyfriends or for someone who would, you know, kind of give her some kind of a support. And when her husband, American husband, passed away, and, you know, I moved, she was also living with her teenage daughter by that time. And I noticed, you know, by looking, and I was there for almost a year with them, and I noticed that their relationship is very strange, that it was more like very formal. You know, it's your mother. I've never seen them like hugging or, you know, giving themselves like some kind of affection. It was really, really weird. Okay, so the reason I end up living with Kristina and her daughter is because I was, you know, obviously going to attend the school, and my parents didn't know anybody, you know, who I could possibly stay with in the beginning, and, you know, kind of test the water and see, you know, kind of, it's a foreign country, you know, it's far, far away. Kristina was my father's very good friend. She was a flutist, a professional flute player in Poland, and my father was like the principal of the music school, so he kind of knew her, and he knew that she moved to New York City, so he kind of asked her, you know, if she would just have me. And of course my parents paid her. It's not like I was living there for free. The apartment that she had, it was like 2-bedroom apartment. I end up sleeping literally on the couch in the living room for, yeah, almost a year. and the couch was like very long, but it was super narrow, and every time at night I had to push like the coffee table so I wouldn't fall off that couch, you know. And it was a tough life. I mean, honestly, you guys, it was tough. And on top of it, I ended up going to Montclair State University, which is in New Jersey, which I'm super happy, because originally, because the person that I wanted to study with was a professor at that university. So I was super happy, and everything just worked out beautifully. And after a year, you know, I kind of moved to New Jersey, so it would be just easier for me to you know, I'll be closer to the school instead of commuting from New York City every time. So Kristina was absolutely crazy. Like I said, she was always looking for, you know, men. She was always looking for someone who has money. And I don't know, I was just looking at it and I thought everything about what she does in front of the people is just fake. Like when her husband passed away, I witnessed her calling his, let's say he had like a credit card in Barney's, New York, or Saks Fifth Avenue. She would call, you know, because she's stuck, she was left with the bills basically. And I assume it was quite a large amount of money. And she would be telling me like, he didn't pay the bills, he didn't pay the bills, you know. Like I was like, the guy just died, you know, like why are you screaming like this, you know. So anyway, she would call to the, you know, credit card services, and just her ability to cry within 10 seconds was like amazing to me. Like she was like a natural actress. I mean, literally she was on that phone crying like the most her widow, you know, you can ever imagine. And I don't really think, honestly, that's just my opinion, but I don't really think she really loved her husband. I think it was all about getting green card, staying in America, living in, you know, in the heart of Manhattan. I think this was all about this rather than loving the guy. So at one occasion, 2 years prior, you know, when I came to, a year prior, when I came to audition for Juliet and he was still alive, she would say, you know, when he goes to work, I'm just sitting all day long. I just go do my nails, do my hair, and then when he comes home, I start laundry. So my husband can actually see that I'm working hard. So, you know, and she told me those are her little, you know, things that she does around the house. She always starts working when he comes home. So yeah, so this way he doesn't see that she's just doing basically nothing for most of the day. She would also play fake in front of her mother, which to me, it was like so painful to watch. Her mom would call and Kristina would pick up the phone, and you know, and her mom, by the way, she was in Poland. Kristina would pick up the phone and her mom wanted to talk to her, you know, to see what's going on. Kristina would start being like screaming, paranoid, crying within seconds, telling her how busy she is. She has no time to talk, and in fact she was sitting in front of TV doing nothing. So I, you know, as a young person, you're looking at this behavior and you just know that there's something wrong. She also had a brother who lived in Brooklyn with her, with his wife and children, and I'm not sure if he was divorced or he was separated, but there was something happening there. The Easter came and Kristina decided, I don't know if it was just she was trying to do it in front of me, I have no idea, but she decided to invite her brother. And as far as I know, for all those months that I've been with her, they didn't talk, they didn't communicate, they didn't see each other. And he only lives in Brooklyn and she's in Manhattan. So so he came with his children. They were like elementary kind of you know, school kids. And Kristina started to, basically with all the food and, you know, everything what was happening, this was like a one big show off. So she started the show. As soon as he entered the, you know, the apartment, the show was on. She was so fake with everything what she said, with everything what she does, with everything what she was, you know, trying to impress him. And I thought, like, he's such a cool dude and she is just playing this, I don't know, it's like she's just trying to play this super rich woman that she is really not. So yeah, that was quite frustrating. Again, you know, I come from quite normal family and it was just very difficult to watch, and it was just like such an eye-opening. a different occasion. By the way, I got along with her daughter, who was a couple of years younger than me, and we really clicked. We really got along, and she really liked me, and I, you know, I like her obviously. And one day, Kasia, that was her name, she asked, "Mommy, can you give me, like, I don't know, it was like $20-$40, you know, she wanted to go to buy herself a new pair of jeans." And because Kasia was quite tall, she needed that, you know, taller jeans, and she said, I think she said she can only buy them in Express or whatever. She wanted some money for jeans, you know. And in the spare of a second, her mom was like, "Oh, Kasia, oh, I just don't have money. Oh, look, all those bills are coming." And she's just completely like on a roll, like she's playing someone else immediately. And what Kasia does, she just rolls her eyes and I said, "Just forget it, I'm gonna use my savings." The next day, Christina comes home. Guess what? "Oh, look at this, girls! I just got myself a brand new Chanel jacket." And you know, back then I didn't really realize how much the Chanel jacket cost. So I knew it was super expensive, but I didn't realize how much would it be. And Christina just rolled in like nothing happened, showing off her new Chanel jacket. And I'm thinking to myself, your daughter just asked you for $40, $50 to give her to buy, you know, a pair of jeans, and the next day you go and do the shopping in Chanel. Oh, it was just so frustrating to see. But the best was to come. She finally met this guy, and I'm pretty sure she was actively looking for a man. I don't know if he started to separate from his wife when he met Christina, or was he already separated? I don't know that. All I know that he was coming from a very rich family. They all, he and his father, he owned two-story music building, like a music store, somewhere in Times Square area. And Christina, I don't know how she met him exactly, but he was pretty much 2 or 3 years married with his young wife, and he had a newborn baby. And he basically started, you know, flirting with Christina, or Christina started flirting with him. I don't know, but that's basically what she told me. So he started coming to the apartment more and more and more often. Now, keep in mind, back then I was 20, maybe 1 or something like that, 20 years old. And he probably was in his early 30s. And Christina was in his, I would say 55, 56, something like that. So after a while, she realized that he might be more interested in me than her. And believe me, guys, if I tell you, I wanted to have nothing to do with this guy. First of all, I'm not taking guys who are married, you know. And then second of all, like, he's so old, you know. I was in my 20s, like, I don't want a guy who's 30 something. So I didn't even consider, he was not even in my picture, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I just completely, you do you and just leave me alone. But this was not what Christina was thinking. She basically thought that he might start, you know, having some affairs with me or something. I don't know. So anyway, that pretty much led me to eventually move out of her apartment, because, you know, he was in the picture, and I just didn't want this, you know, this competition. And yeah, and she was just giving me more and more hard time, you know, to be around. And I just decided that it's time to move to Jersey. So that's basically what I did. Shortly after I moved, Jonathan, that was his name, he decided to take Christina and her daughter for like a spring break vacation. Okay, so her daughter Kasia said, "I'm not going because 2 of you are going, I'm gonna be bored," right? So basically Jonathan said, "Okay, pick a friend, take a friend, and I'm paying for everything, and we can go on vacation." So Kasia, without even thinking much, she goes like, "I'm good, okay, I'm taking Magda with me." And the moment she said that, the Christina almost burst, you know, because here she's trying to get rid of me, and at the same time Kasia is insisting on taking me on the road trip. So it basically, Kasia gave her ultimatum: either Magda or nobody's, or I'm not going. And then there was not an option. So Kristina had to chill. And as much as I didn't want to go, because, you know, obviously this is not a comfortable situation for any of us, and I was trying to explain this very politely to Kasia, she just would not have it. So at the end of the day, I've decided to go and just, you know, just do my best, stay away, you know, as much as I can. So basically, like, when we travel, because we went to Boston, we went to Cape Cod, and, you know, all these beautiful places, and in the hotels that we are staying, they always purchase like 2 rooms. So me and Kasia would stay in one, and they would stay in another room. And every time Kristina was around him, she was just putting another show. And like, for example, she intentionally didn't take any bathing suits. And then, you know, Kasia insisted on the hotels that there would be a swimming pool so we can all go swim. And then Kristina intentionally didn't take any, you know, bathing suits, swimming suits. And the next thing you know, oh honey, I forgot, I don't have any swimming suits. Do you think we can go to Victoria's Secret? So it was just like one thing after another, one thing after another, and it was just crazy. Yeah, so I just had enough. And I don't even know if she's still with this guy. I don't think so, because I think my father said that he called her like 5 years ago or so, and she was in some kind of new relationship. So I don't even know if she was married second, third time or no. But my father told me that she was in the new relationship, and her new boyfriend, of whoever he was, if he knew that my father called her, he had like a jealousy issues, so he would give her a very hard time. So she basically hang up phone on my father within a minute, you know, because she said she cannot talk because her boyfriend has some issues. And I'm thinking to myself, this is just so sad. So yeah, as much as I loved living in New York City, it was not a pleasant experience, but I do appreciate still, you know, she did help me when I really needed the help in the beginning, and, you know, to kind of show me around. So I still do appreciate her help. And but yeah, just things didn't work, you know, from obvious reasons. And me and Kasia were always having a good relationship, and me and Kristina was just not having it, you know, because I had my own mind and I saw things that other people would not tell her. So basically, you know, one of us had to go, and obviously it was me, because it was not my place. But everything worked out fine. I was very happy living in New Jersey. I came to New York City almost every weekend, you know, because it was like literally 20 minutes away. I lived 20 minutes away from New York City, so I was in the city for every single weekend for the next 8 years, you know, or so. So yeah, I had a really good time. You know what really struck me when I first moved with her? It was she kept, like, I would say at least 10-15 bagels at a time in the freezer. And she always had a lot of orange juice. And when I first moved, she would force every morning on me to drink a glass of orange juice and eat that bagel. Like, she would put the frozen bagel in the microwave, and then I think for microwave she put it in the toaster. And, you know, I mean, first of all, I very rarely drank orange juice being in Poland. And I never ate bagels because we just didn't have bagels back then. And so, you know, I mean, I could do it, you know, a few times, but that orange juice every day was just killing me, guys. I just could not take that orange juice anymore. So once I moved out from her, I don't think I drank orange juice for the next 7-8 years at least. And even to this days, you guys, like, I buy, because my kids sometimes like to drink, so we always have a little bit, not always, most of the time we'll have some orange juice. But I never drink orange juice. It's maybe because of her, I don't know, how weird is that? Yeah, so I really had to fight with her to stop the orange juice and stop the bagels, because you know, I cannot do it every single day. You know, it was just a little bit too much. So anyway, yeah, that was something that I just couldn't believe. There are other options than orange juice and bagels for breakfast, right? Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this will show you a little bit more of my life. You know, I'm really trying to be quite not talking too much, you know, but I just thought a few interesting details, you know, from my life. It's always quite entertaining. If you have any more questions, if there's anything else you want me to talk about, by the way, when I moved to New Jersey, I became like an au pair. So I ended up living with the like American family, and the kids were like teenagers. They were almost like the end of the elementary school and high school. So basically I was able to go to school in the morning, and then I was like watching them for 2-3 hours before parents came from school. You know, so in other words, they wouldn't burn the house and kill each other. You know, basically that was the case. And yeah, and that's how I end up surviving my college years, you know, because I wouldn't be able to afford an apartment and pay for the apartment. So and my life in New Jersey was beautiful, and to this day I treat this American family like my second family, like my second mother and father, and we have a great contact. They are still in New Jersey, and I just love them. I just love them. They help me so much, and yeah, I was really happy to move out of Christina, you know, and find them, because if it was not them, I wouldn't be here these days. You know, I wouldn't be able to survive in the university. I wouldn't be able to pay my bills and so on. So let me know if you have any questions, and yeah, I'll see you in my next video.